Episode 293. Komoi is filling herself up with Mandovillian energy for the big finale. It might be that the climax goes by in an instant, or it could take a while, in which case, she'll need all this energy. I'm glad she's in high spirits. If it goes by quickly, we still have some side quests that we could do, some interesting side quests at least, that interest me. But based on the last episode, this might go by pretty quickly, and actually, we're not going to Adelshy, we're talking to Seer as always. This would have been released with patch 3.5, so I guess they released it around the same time that players could have Pampalimo die and be waiting in between this and 3.55 or 3.56 or whatever. I imagine most people do the main story first, so they'd probably be experiencing this after the death of a precious comrade, maybe. At least I always do the main story first, before the side stuff. We need to speak, Komoi. I've been scouring the archives for any information regarding temporal magic since we last spoke, and the results have been rather troubling to say the least. As you may or may not be aware, ancient Alec is portrayed in the Enchiridion as a cautionary tale, a great empire brought low by its vanity and hubris. Have we heard of the Enchiridion before? It seems like something that might have been lore in some other part of the game, considering he's saying as you may or may not be aware. However, there are certain apocryphal texts in which the Allegans are cast in a more sympathetic light, if not outright exalted. It was in these texts that I found references to temporal magics once wielded by Allegan mages. Said magics could be used to halt or even reverse the temporal state of a given object. If these accounts are to be believed, and if Gigi's abilities and these magics are one and the same, then it may well be possible for him to turn back the hands of time for the Grand Sirs, much as he restored the Duke's priceless vase. That being said, there is no telling how this will work with regards to a living being. Consider, if you will, that the vase was filled with water when shattered. Even if the vessel were restored, what would become of its former contents? Wow, this is surprisingly going into the lore about the ethereal sea and all that we kind of talk about in Endwalker and other parts of the game. I guess it just means that the lore is pretty solidly founded, or the foundation for the lore is solid, even at this point in time. Would it be filled with water as before, the very same, every drop returned, or would it be different water? Would the water once split be forever lost? This is just piquing Komoi's interest even more about necromancy. We always come back to it. I speak of the soul, my friend, for even if one could use these magics to restore the dead to life, would they be as they were before, with all the same thoughts and memories and feelings? We use these as comedic relief to get away from the deaths of our comrades, but just like in A Realm Reborn, where we dealt with realms of zombies, and even more so here, even though it's not about zombies, the lore is that much closer to dealing with the deaths of a loved one, and it's just weirdly serendipitous in a weird Hildebrand way that we're doing this after Pampalimo died. Maybe this also ties into what I was just talking about, how players might be playing this after realizing that Pampalimo died and, not realizing, experience a story where Pampalimo dies and then they have this. Could have been planned. Did I read all this? I think so. The Grand Sirs are convinced that they can regain their lost use, and mayhap they can, but the dead who have entered into Halone's halls cannot return. They cannot. Yet Gigi is nevertheless resolved to try and resurrect Archmagus Quan. Speaking of which, according to some Charlian texts in the archives, Archmagus Quan was an accomplished scholar, known for his study of ancient Allegan magics. Further evidence that Gigi's abilities are likely derived from ancient traditions, I suppose. But more importantly, I learned the location of the Archmagus' former residence. Mayhap we could find something of interest there, something which could help us to persuade Gigi to change its course. I had a mind to summon Inspector Hildebrand and make the journey there together. Would you be willing to join us? Sounds like a plan. Excellent. Then let us be about our business. He's really got his act together. I saw you. Heretic. I beg your pardon. Are you accusing me of being a heretic? Yes, you, Inquisitor Seer. I saw you sneak into the archives and seek out the forbidden tomes. Saw the mad light in your eyes as you partook of their forbidden knowledge. Oh, for the love of... I did all of that for my investigation. Aha, you admit your crimes. That you did secretly, without permission, in blatant contravention of our rules, read forbidden tomes. And by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Supreme Sacred Tribunal of Hellenic Inquisitory Doctrine. You stupid ignorant. Are you all so desperate to keep your goddamn jobs that you'll go around accusing all the world and his wife of heresy? Is that what we've been reduced to? I'm sick and tired of looking for heretics in every bloody shadow, of trying to guess the secret sins of everyone I meet. It's stupid and pointless, and we're better than that, damn it. We're better than that. If you will not surrender yourself, then I have no choice but to inform my superiors. Well, that all came tumbling out, didn't it? I suppose there's no point in trying to convince myself that I have no personal investment in this matter, or that I still have a professional one. It's okay. You're one of us. Somewhere along the way I stopped looking for the guilty and started looking for the truth, perhaps, and a way to help those in need. There's no place for people like that in the Inquisition, is there? And it's only a matter of time before that stuttering fool comes back with an armed guard. Let us depart for Idleshire at once. We need to find the Inspector. It's great, his character arc. He's a great character. It just kind of happens slowly. You kind of wear away at him. Hildebrand and everyone wears away at him. But it works out in the end. It's a nice moment, that. I actually remember it pretty fondly. Should be over by their gazebo, right? I did find out, by the way, the side quest I was thinking of, the one that had a picture on it and was part of like some quest chain. We did the first part of that, and I think like one of these, or this one, or was it one of these over here? One of these is basically the continuation of that, even though it doesn't have the picture. And I actually can't remember which one it was. But it's actually part of a very, very long quest chain, which I probably won't have the time to do, even if I'm trying to kill time at the end of like a Hildebrand episode. So we'll probably just not do it, until I have to kill time in some future episode and I somehow remember all these going-ons in Idleshire and want to actually do those. But we'll probably be over in like Shadowbringers by then or something. These guys are apparently involved in that questline, I guess. Just saw their names in the quest chain or something. Are you looking for the Inspector? He went off on his lonesome. God damn it, Hildy. I raised you to have better sense than this. It would seem we arrived too late. Inspector Hildebrand has already gone off on his own to confront the Grand Sirs. They came back briefly to trade Jingly Shine for supplies and whatnot, you see. And the Gombies ear caught them. Ear caught? I guess they heard. Ear caught them trading tongue flaps about killing dragons in the Forelands. Yeah, I guess Nashu is fluent in Gombi speak. When the Inspector learned about it later, He said he had to get after them right away and backtake Gigi. He said he had a duty, not as an inspector, but as a father. Great. I was trying to time this so that the sun would be out when we have the big cutscene. Seems like it's gonna rain during the cutscene. Unless they actually change the weather and time of day for the big finale, which they might. Fuck is that? He's got no obligations to a bloody mammoth, especially one that chose to leave of its own free will, as I recall. I swear, I turned my back on the boy for one fleeting second, and he loses his goddamn mind. I'm afraid he might try to do something reckless. Don't you think we should try to find him and offer hand mending? I am rather more concerned about what will happen if the Grand Sirs attack, or worse, kill of any Facevelker's brood. But first things first, I suppose. Komor, would you be so kind as to assist Mistress Nashu and Julian in their search for the Inspector? I will pay a visit to Archmagus Quan's abandoned abode in the meantime. Oh, and before you think to refuse, know that you need not fear for my safety. Let us just say that our singular experiences together have injured me to the harsh realities of, well, reality. Oh wait, inured. I guess I know what that term means, at least through context clues. Inured. Oh, whatever. Huh. Could it be the scrawny little shites finally found his spine? I'll say. Let's start by heading to Tailfeather. I reckon the Inspector probably went there first to ask after the Grand Sirs. So if we do the same, we're sure to catch up with him eventually. Tailfeather? Oh, I guess it's Sindravanu? Oh right, because it's both the hinterlands and the forelands. It feels like a big distance between the forelands and the hinterlands, probably because of how the story works. You take a side route from the forelands here into the turning mist and all that, just up there into the mountain. And then you go back and forth for some other story stuff, but then later in the story you head back towards the hinterlands, and that's way later, so it feels like a long distance, I guess. Right, we're over here. And I guess it is like physically a long distance, it's supposed to be. Like from here to here. That's like a huge distance, as much as like, I don't know, the Black Shroud to Mordona or something. Something like that. It's weird that Cortus is... Well, no, I guess that's normal. Just this placement felt weird for the snow, but I guess the snow isn't normally there. I mean, it wasn't there in 1.0. Stuff about the Calamity, I guess. Anyway. Hildy practically grew up in the saddle. Gave him his first firm thighs and buttocks, it did. We keep on hearing about this, how he grew up like riding chocobos or giving rides to chocobos or something. Right then, I say we split up and make inquiries separately. If you learn anything about the Inspector or the Grand Sirs or Gigi, come and tell me. Inside? I think inside. We're allowed inside, right? Yeah. But not inside. We bother this guy a lot for the quests over here, or at least we used to. One of the NAS quests has you ride the Kongamoto and spray a bunch of pesticide all over this stuff. While the guy is still standing next to it, he gets very cross about it. The Ishgardians with the Mammoth, they were here, proclaiming to all and sundry that they were going to slay the greatest dragon of all time. The gods only know if the naive fools were serious. Dragons are not to be trifled with, and I hardly think those so-called veterans were even remotely capable of doing what they claimed they would. Oh, those daft songs. They were for Enix Trine. Not quite sure what their intentions were, but they were awfully confident, that much I recall. If you're looking for the three Ishgardians with the Mammoth, maybe head to Enix Shrine. Assuming they didn't run afoul of ill-tempered dragons, you'll probably find them there. He's kind of neatly posed this way, with the one leg on the incline and the other leg up on the rock. There's like no way for any player character to sit that way, only on like benches and flat surfaces or whatever. It'd be fun if you could somehow do that, but not with this game's system, I guess. 3 Dragon Slayers and a Mammoth, eh? I'd call you a mummer if I hadn't seen them come to earlier, boasting about how they were off to kill the biggest one yet. 3 Dragon... No wait, this one just has the same dialogue. The other guys had flavor, like I didn't. Oh, Julian's around talking to people too. Have you seen my dear baby boy? He's about yay high and prone to bouts of zombification. Boy, is he. Oh wait, she's inside. Oh, I see. So the Grand Sirs were headed for Enix Shrine. And my dear boy wasn't far behind them either. What are we waiting for? Let's go, let's go. Faster to teleport? No, wait. That's on the other side of the big wall, so we just have to like fly over the wall and... Might just be faster to fly directly there. I don't know, I guess it's not that high. But the time to teleport plus the time to like... mount up and then fly over... Well, who cares? It'd probably only save like 5 or 10 seconds. Well, I guess, Hildebrand's been due here? This isn't really Hildebrand's handiwork, though. He doesn't leave people in this state. People leave him in this state. Although I guess by coincidence Orland also ended up in this state in the last episode. I'm just going to assume that this is some product of Hildebrand's antics, I guess. Oh, I found one of the great sirs, or grand sirs. Did Hildy do this? Usually he ends up on the receiving end, that's what I've been saying. This poor soul, or the poor soul, who bears a striking resemblance to Orland, is quite firmly embedded in the earth. Would you look at that? The inspector sure gave him what for. That may be, but where'd the other two get to? Not to mention the mammoth. Why don't we pull him out and ask? Though, having said that, it looks easier said than done. Oh, how silly of me. I'm sure you've got more than enough strength to yank him free. Right, Comoy? Sure. Those firm thighs and buttocks look awfully familiar. Oh. Okay. Yeah, Hildebrand's antics, I guess. Comoy, she's the one. If she can't do it, no one, Wait, I've got it this time, really. Okay, try again. Comoy, she's the one. If she can't do it, no one, Wait, I've got it this time, really. I've lost faith in you. Well, I'll be. He's wearing some sort of magic mask, which makes him look just like the inspector. Just like that man of 1,000 faces back in Old Hall. No, that's Hildebrand all right. There's no fool in a mother's eyes. I say, What trouble has my beloved son gotten himself into this time? He's back. Why, hello there, Lord Godbert and Inspector Seer. How'd you two end up traveling together? Blind fortune, you might say. I was too far from Tailfeather when night began to fall, but fortunately Lord Godbert chanced to find me wandering in the wilderness. Lord Edmond told me all about this recent trouble with the Grand Sirs, as well as Hildy's investigation, and a father cannot help but take an interest in his son's affairs, can he? As for me, I was eager to share with you my latest findings, namely Archmagus Squan, or how do I decide on this? Archmagus. Archmagus Quan's research notes. I haven't slept like that since I was buried in the Lich Yard. Well, I must confess no small measure of embarrassment to be found in such a state, having been so unceremoniously disposed of by the Grand Sirs. But ignominy notwithstanding, I am most grateful for your succor, and pleasantly surprised to be reunited with you all. This wouldn't have happened had you waited for us instead of... Wait, why in the hells are you still wearing that rubbish? An impenetrable disguise is essential when consorting with the criminal elements. The last would seem the Grand Sirs have grown more perceptive in their newfound use. Actually, this is funny. He didn't actually change out of these clothes after the end of the last quest, so... I guess it's like he's been wearing it all this time is the joke. Wait, do you mean they've already regained their use? What about Gigi? Did you see him? Was he behaving strangely? Now that you mention it, his warm, soulful eyes were rather more pointy than I remember. By the Fury, not pointy. According to Archmagus Squan, again, I keep on putting the apostrophe S after the Magus part. According to Archmagus Quan's notes, that's a sign Gigi's using too much power. If he carries on like this, his ether will be expended, and he'll end up not more than an empty husk. Equivalent exchange, I guess. This is terrible news. We must catch up to the Grand Sirs at once. Do you know where they are headed? All I heard was that they were keen to slay dragons. They were bound for the Turning Mists, a place called Zenith, to kill a great worm named Nidhogg. Really? That all happened? Huh. I meant the other one, Wraithfilker. Yeah, we did that in the main quest. Wraithfilker? Fury, take me. What could they possibly hope to achieve? This is actually pretty serious for, like, the peace of Ishgard and Dragonkind and all of that. I guess the peace treaty is still fresh, so maybe we nip this one in the bud. After finally achieving peace after 1,000 years of war, they want to kill Wraithfilker? That doesn't make any sense. Coming from the guy that was looking for heretics not too long ago, and also kind of worshipping the Heavensward. At least we found the inspector, right? He looks well enough, but I wonder. Watching Hildy learn and grow as a father reminds me of my own trials and tribulations. And it's a bit of a spoiler, but we get a Gigi minion. I mean, it's only appropriate, right? You see this Gigi minion-sized mammoth wandering around the entire quest, and it's only right that you get one of your very own at the very end. I, Hildebrand, Agent of Inquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire, do hereby ask you all to aid me in rescuing my son, and putting a stop to the Grand Sir's machinations. Is it machinations or machinations? It's probably machinations. You know, there's really no need for all of that. We came because we wanted to help. I, Nashu, faithful assistant, maker of explosives extraordinaire, do hereby present to you this fresh change of clothing. Capital. I knew I could count on you, Nashu. I shall change en route. Come, my friends, to Zenus, and to Gigi. Guess it's actually en route, not en route. Pronunciation. Oh, we still have this as a favorite one, because I was doing all the Moogle Society quests there. I guess I can change that. Maybe to like Limso or somewhere, I don't know. Well, I guess we can't unregister it, we'll just have to do it somewhere else. Okay, the weather is terrible, but I'm just going to hope that they change it for the cutscene. I say, what brilliant craftsmanship. How did they manage? Oh, he's talking about this. I guess go ask the Moogles, they're probably the experts now. Spending too much time at this high altitude can't be good for my skin. His disguises may be amazing, but nothing beats the classic Inspector look. Huh, to think that I stand in the heart of Dravanian territory. Me. How long ago was I scouring the streets for heretics? Like 3 episodes ago, it wasn't that long. But it feels like a long time. Well, I mean, I guess he was supposed to have a lot of off-screen character development, or like, off-screen time to contemplate what he's been going through. And it should have been months in between, because that's how long it takes in between patches to release the next patch, I guess. So, I suppose that's supposed to be what the real time is meant to be for Seer and everyone else. I guess. Make ready, my friends. The final battle with the Grand Sirs is at hand. Ugh, 'twould seem my wounds were more serious than I thought. I fear I am in no condition to confront our foes. There is but one thing that could restore me to my former, indomitable self. Don't you worry. I've got some salamander oil right here. Shall Mummy give her baby boy a massage? Oh, my dearest Mummy, Mother dearest, I would not impose upon you, not when my ever-loyal associate, Komoy, stands ready to minister to my muscles. Yeah, that's what we're here for. Our most important job yet. Don't tell me you're embarrassed. Let Mummy take care of little Hildy's hurts. My dear wife, I know you mean well, but let Komoy handle it. I can personally testify to the healing talents of her strong yet tender fingers. Is this a callback? I think this is a callback. I think this dialogue changes. Because we did that one optional side quest in A Realm Reborn over in that hot spring area where we massaged this guy before we even knew who he was. Before we knew that he was involved with like the Hildebrand questline and everything. Or we actually massaged him during the Hildebrand questline, and I'm forgetting that too. If that's the way of it, I'm counting on you, Komoy. Pronunciation. Let us brook no further delay. Come, my friend, coat my body in oil, as you have done many a time before. Yeah, many a time. And it won't be the last. Salamander oil, or oil massages, are something of a Mandervillian tradition. One I hope to pass on to little Gigi someday. Salamander oil might be good for, like, oiling up his gears or something. I don't know. Oh, the memories. You may as well get on with it. I wish Inspector Hildebrand would let me oil him up. Don't worry, it's our job. Why do you hesitate? Have we not done this time and time again? Oil me up, woman. Hang on, wait. How does that read? It rubs the oil on his skin. It does this whenever it is told. Oh, how it soothes and aches my pains. Quickly now, knead it into my flesh. Knead as you have never kneaded before. Okay, we're kneading. Oh, the well. Gah, such furious kneading. I applaud your enthusiasm. Mayhap I urged you to excessive force. Nay, you were in the right. Already the gentle warmth begins to spread throughout my body. The fires of righteousness burn anew in my breast. Hold, my son. Though your passion is renewed, you may yet be spurred to greater feats of Mandervillian strengths. Derived from the purest essence of salamanders, the ancient legacy of House Manderville, Salamanderville. Incredible. To you, my beloved son, now become a proud father, I bequeath this most sacred of oils. Wow, what a rite of passage. It's happening before our very eyes. Salamanderville? Could it be that the legends were true? Your muscles shall shine with the brilliance of 1,000 suns. No mortal man will have the power to do you harm. Verily it is so. For by its grace did I once weather the slings and arrows of a bandit horde, and bring my hammer of justice to bear upon their wicked heads. The time has come, Komoy. Take this oil, and help Hildy become the Manderville man he was meant to be. Anything new? That's the same. All the same. Okay. Let's really work it in there, right up into the buttocks. I am ready for my final oiling, Komoy. We'll make it a good one. The best of the best for a Manderville man, to rise to the top, as the cream only can. So for the lack of a logical plan, massage the Manderville man. Oh, the Salamanderville, how it flows into every nook and cranny. Quickly now, lay your hands upon me, massage me with all your might. Get real in there. Yes, that's the spirit. I can feel it building and rising. Yet again. Such passion, such fervor. I'm the inferno unbound, the tempest unleashed. But I have not yet begun to pose. Once more, with feeling. Hang on, gotta get it good. Make it look good. A little more. There. They make you wait extra long. I am a Manderville man. That Salamanderville is, my word. I've never felt so alive. Such vibrant colors, such intense sounds, such fragrant smells. Mother, father, Komoy, 'twas your oils and your strong yet tender fingers which opened my eyes to the glory of creation. I am a gentleman inspector, reborn. Onward to Zenith. No matter the laws of nature they pervert, or the limits they break, the Grand Sirs can do naught to stop me. Unfortunately, they're using this time of day and the weather. That's too bad. I guess it's dramatic at least. It's just not great lighting. It's hard to get good lighting in this part of the world, though. There's always some weird storm going on. Speaking of bad lighting, Grand sirs, I have come for my son. Oh, must we do this now? We have a dragon to slay. There is no need for any of this. The war is over. But not for long. The worm's death will give rise to a new era of fire and blood. And we, having consumed his eyes, will use our new powers to win untold glory on the battlefield. Our legends will echo in eternity. You would doom countless innocents for glory? No, I won't allow it. Over my dead body. He was kind of on the opposite side when he began, just trying to make a name for himself by, I don't know, catching heretics that weren't really heretics, making trouble where there wasn't any, just for glory. Far be it from us to deny you then. This is the end for you. The ultimate end. It's like the Heavensward all over again. We know that move. We also know that move. They're really wailing on him, but he can take it. Pig's knee. Oh good. If only I started the cutscene when the weather was like this. Well, at least we get the end like this. He's a grown man. Have faith, my love. He is our son. They've passed the torch. He's a father now. Gigi, my beautiful boy, pray do not look on me with such pointy eyes. Let Papa Hildy take you home, to our gazebo. Stop calling me that. My name is Vivi. Vivi, I remember everything. My powers, my purpose, my grandpapa Quan. I made them young again, but it's not enough. I need more, more. I need the worm's eyes, and then I can finally bring him back. I'm sorry, Gigi, but no, you cannot. Grandpapa Quan is gone. He's right, Gigi. Mayhap you could restore his corporeal form and breathe life into it, but his soul, what made him your grandpapa, is forever beyond your reach. That's not true. I can restore anything to its ideal form, to the way it should be. Even Grandpapa Quan, even you, Papa Hildy. Please, Gigi, you have to stop. If you keep using your power, you'll die. I don't understand. Your clothes are still dirty and tattered. As they should be, Gigi. For my every waking moment is as the gods intended. Every day I live life to the fullest. Every day I enjoy grand adventures. Flawed as he is, he's alright. I found your grandpapa's research notes. What he gave you wasn't the power to make things the way they were. He gave you the power to change the world, to make things the way you yourself believe they should be. That's why your magics have no effect on the inspector, because you know in your heart that this battered and bruised form of his, is, in its own way, right. Life affirming, body affirming, all that stuff. My thoughts exactly, Inquisitor Seer, and it is for this self-same reason that you were unable to make Grandmaster Quan younger. In your heart you knew that there was naught that needed to be changed. Your beloved grandpapa was exactly as he should be. Your every day was to be treasured and worthy of celebration. Then what about the Grand Sirs? Why was I able to make them young again? All you truly knew of them were the stories they told, wondrous tales of daring do by heroes in the prime of their lives. It's no wonder you were able to envision them as such. That's all they ever talked about, when they were young and free and full of fire. At first, Archmagus Quan didn't understand the true nature of your abilities. He struggled to deduce why you could not make him younger as he originally intended. Eventually he realized that your fond memories of him were preventing you from conceiving of him as anything but an elderly creator, and that the only way to achieve his goal would be to take them from you. But you were all he had left in the world, no longer a mere mammoth, but a friend, family, his only family, his grandson. He couldn't bear to lose you, so he renounced his quest for immortality. But I still lost my memories in the end. He was afraid of leaving you all alone in the world, afraid that others would attempt to take advantage of you and your magics. So before he died, he decided to take your memories from you after all, to protect you. But despite his best efforts, something remained, something stronger and more powerful and more resilient than anything Archmagus Quan ever dared dream. You were never broken, Gigi. You were never abandoned. All he wanted was to set you free. Free? Free? To do what? Whatever you like, Gigi, don't you see? That was his final gift to you, a new life, a new story all your own. You're fine just the way you are. You can be whatever you want to be. The Hildebrand quest lines, they get real deep. This has all been very, very touching, but we're not getting any younger. Well, you aren't, at any rate. We have suffered your meddling long enough. I had intended to use this trap to kill the worm, but since you are so perfectly positioned. No. That's gonna take the Mughals decades to fix. They only just got done on the plaza. I am Vivi, grandson of Archmagus Quan, and Gigi, son of Hildebrand Helidor, Maximilian Manderville, and this is my story. Everyone's ideal forms, I guess. I hope that's gonna wear off soon. Julian's kinda scary like that. It's like it never happened. With the last of his strength, he turned back the hands of time. Not just for the pillars, but for us all. He made us all as we once were. As we were meant to be. After all that gallivanting about, I get bugger all. What about my misspent youth? I was not going to be this bloody old, I was not meant to be this bloody old. Ha ha ha, such a fine day. Never have I squatted with such perfect form. I may well have reached my physical peak. Ah, what rot. At your age, you deaf sod. You look foolish. You should be grateful. Gigi saw what you had become and gave you a second chance. That was our second chance. To relive our glory days. It was all rather silly, though, wasn't it? Maybe Quan had the right of it. Maybe it's not so bad growing old. I was a coward when I was young, but now that I'm old, I'm not afraid to say things like, I love you, Doris. You're a blind, bloody fool, Gonsport. I say, am I dead again? Quite alive, Inspector, along with everyone else, thanks to Gigi. The Grand Sirs are also in our custody. Ah ha ha, that's my boy. Where is Little Tyke anyway? Gigi, he embarked on a grand new adventure. He's no longer with us. I see. If that's what he wanted then I could not be happier for him. I'm sure Archmagus Quan would feel the same way. What do we do now, Inspector? Is it not obvious, Nashu? The wide, wide world beckons to us. With the promise of mystery and wonder, we shall resume our never-ending quest for cases perplexing and profound, and perhaps one day, we shall meet young Gigi again. I hate to admit it, but this whole mess got me thinking that maybe it wouldn't be so bad if I really did have a grandson. You did right by Gigi, Hildy. Your father and I can see that. We're proud of the man you've become. And I am proud of you too, Mother, for finally coming to terms with the ephemeral nature of your physical beauty and allowing yourself to age gracefully. Great. Nicely put. Gracefully, was it? I fear we may have had a failure to communicate. There he goes again. Wait for me, Inspector. Wait. Hark, what is that curious sight? Or that light I spy in eastern skies, and this oh so familiar scent which fills my nostrils. Do I smell a case? Eastern skies, the next expansion. Worry not for me, my friends. Forever the wronged want for succor, I, Hildebrand, shall be there, till we meet again. Like a star in the night sky. I say, you do know that so long as the core remains intact, little Gigi is not actually dead. That's right, so dry your tears, boy. There's no need for all this moping about. He has fallen into a dormant state because he had used up all his ether. His core will gradually recharge as it draws upon the ambient ether, and in time he will awaken from his torpor. I shall tend to the child for now. As for these three, I should be glad to take them back to Ishgard in your stead. A most generous offer, my lord, but hardly necessary. After all, 'tis my duty to bring them to justice. Oh yes, it was my duty. After everything I said to that young Inquisitor, I can't go back to Ishgard. They'll toss me in a jail and throw away the key if they don't kill me outright. So go to Idleshire and live in Hildy's gazebo. Someone ought to look after it while he's away now. That doesn't sound all that bad, actually. Full glad am I to accept your offer. I suppose there's nothing for it but to wait until he comes back down. 'Twas a most graceful strike, my love. You haven't lost your touch. Still gonna have nightmares about that huge skillet. Probably. What an outro. And everyone's gone home, except for Hildebrand and Ashu there. They're going in the exact opposite direction from home. They just got that new house and everything, that new gazebo, and now they're going onto the opposite side of the world, basically, all the way over there, with that one strike from Julian. Incredible. I suppose there's nothing for it but to leave the Grand Sirs to Lord Godfrey, and for me to see Inspector Hildebrand's, or C2, Inspector Hildebrand's gazebo. I'd like to thank you for everything you've done. If you find yourself in Idleshire, come and see me. There are a few arrangements that I need to make, but I can't imagine that it will take that long for me to settle in. Thank you, my friend. Until we meet again. Oh, we ended in... No, wait. Hang on. Oh, it's in Dravania. The way we zoomed out, it seemed like it was inside Corthus. Yeah, he did say in Idleshire. Looking back on the course I've run, it's hard not to think of the man... Oh, I see. It's hard not to think of the man I was and feel ashamed. Sometimes I have trouble with the grammar and everything, but this one was obvious. I don't know why I stumbled on that one. Before I took on this case, I'd only left the capital a handful of times. The rubbish I believe, the facts I considered unassailable. Very take me, what a fool I was. If I hadn't met you, and the Inspector and Gigi, I would have never realized how much I had become, or how much I had come to hate my job. Nor would I have discovered how much more satisfying it is to seek out the truth. The whole truth. One might say that getting labeled a heretic and having to flee Ishgard is the best thing that could have happened to me. After all, now I'm free to start a new life here in Idleshire, as a consulting inspector. But enough of that. There is someone I would like you to meet. Lord Godbert made some modifications, as you can see. His smaller size should allow him to absorb ether more effectively over time. We thought that, if he were to travel with you and share in your grand adventures, that maybe it would hasten his reawakening. So yeah, the minion that you get, it's not just like a copy of the genuine article. It's weird. Or rather, it is the genuine article, but it's like a smaller version of it. But lore-wise, it is actually Gigi following you about. Sometimes whenever you get a minion, they do some weird things where they say it's like well, I guess when the minion is a mammoth that is a copy of a real person, then obviously it's not the real person. Sometimes the minion is like an actual real animal that's just tiny and follows you around or something. But this is a cool side case where it's like a different version of the Gigi model, not as big as you see in the overworld when you're doing these quests. But it is actually still Gigi, due to the weird nature of how mammoths can be rebuilt, I guess. So fun. Thank you, my friend. I do hope our paths cross again someday. May the Fury bless you and keep you. Also known as Vivi, but his secret is safe with you. Oh, they changed the time of day for this sequence, I guess. Why couldn't they do it for the big finale? Oh well. I kind of remember this. It's sort of like well, it's a nice, laid-back credit sequence, especially compared to the bombastic nature of all the Hildebrand stuff. Kind of introspective or contemplative or something. And a nice glow for Seer. Doesn't need that anymore. Seer Blime, apparently. That was his last name all along. Just look that up. Seer Blime, like Sublime. Oh, and Gigi. What was that? That blood stuff? Goblins and more goblins, I think that's it. Hildebrand will return. He will. We know he does. We live in the future. Alright. And let's pop open our new minion, I guess. There you are. The secret to the lost art of temporal magics is believed to be buried deep within this ancient automaton, created by the legendary Charlian Archmagus Quan. Vitality levels are dangerously low, due to a power drainage necessary to save the lives of his companions. I dare say you have the potential to be an exemplary inspector someday. It's not really a spoiler, but because you have this minion following you around and that's not really like something that you can undo, you can't take away a player's minion. Vivi doesn't really get restored to their former self. Vivi's just kind of, well, Gigi, just kind of always follows you around as a minion no matter how far you get into the Hildebrand questline. So despite all that stuff about them talking about how Gigi might absorb enough ether to to get back to normal or something. It never really happens. But I guess they can leave that open for the future, right? Even in Dawn Trail, we don't really talk about Gigi or anything like that. But I feel like if they wanted to, they could just do something where they say, Gigi got enough ether and can rejoin the Hildebrand story in patch 9.5 or something like that. And then the Gigi that's the minion in your inventory, that one just becomes a copy that gets created at the same exact time that Gigi, the genuine article, gets restored back to life or something. Like maybe they transfer Gigi into a new body, and all that stuff behind is this soulless husk that follows you around as a mammoth, a minion, something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just coping, but I would like to see Gigi in the story again, just because, well, it's Manderville's daughter, son, mammoth thing, whatever. Surely they have to include that in the story at some point again. I hope anyway. In the next episode, I guess I'll start on the last of our roundup, which is really just going to be the Disciple of Land and Hand job quests up to level 60, then the Relic Tool quests related to that, and finally, well, I guess we'll be done around episode 300, which can be the big finale to Heavensward, and our lead into Stormblood. That's the plan anyway. Now would be a good time to take a break.